Okay guys, I am here with a weekly what sold video for you. I'm going to let you know what sold for me this past week on Depop, Mercari, Poshmark, and eBay. I did make a little over $2,000 this week profit, so really excited for that. We are in Q4, which is the last 3 months of the year, and that is typically a good selling time for people. I know it has been for me, so excited to just keep making more profit while I can during these busier months. So if you haven't yet subscribed and you like reseller content and you want to learn how to make more money in your business, please consider subscribing down below. You can also find all of my information of where I have my different social medias if you would like to follow me there down below as well. I still haven't figured out, or actually I haven't even tried, but somebody mentioned in one of my videos about a different thing I could use to keep myself on the screen all the time, like in a little circle, but I haven't yet tried it. So sorry, I hope that I will soon, but you never know. Okay, let's go on to Depop. So first up on Depop, let's go to my selling hub. Let me know how your guys' sales have been this week. A lot of people have been complaining about low sales these past couple of days. That possibly could have something to do with the election. Are we excited about that? Listen, that's all I'll say for this time. I'm pretty sure I've been getting less views because I'm speaking out, but literally, I don't care. I just don't feel like getting into it today. So, but are we excited? Yes or no? Just put down in the comments whether you're happy or not, but be nice about it. Okay. First up, I sold these pair of Coach shoes. I don't usually pick up Coach shoes. These were sold for $34, but I feel like these were a very Y2K style. Some of these like wood heels are making a comeback. I know when I was younger, when I was a teenager, I'm 43. Yeah, sometimes I forget how old I am. Does that happen to you guys when you get old? Anyway, I had I think they were like Dr. Scholl's like wood shoes. I'm like, how did I wear those? Those couldn't have been comfortable. Anyway, these are a pair of Coach size 8 like slip-on heel sandals. I got these at Plato's Closet and I think they were around 10 or a little under. So a pretty quick sale there. Next up, I sold this Carhartt coat for $59.50. This was a men's, a size small, just a classic Carhartt coat. It did have some wear and some stains, but that doesn't really matter for Carhartt normally. Sometimes actually the more thrashed, the better. So that was a nice quick sale. I picked that up at a local thrift store for $15. That's a Poshmark sound. Do we want to see what I sold? Although this one would be in the next week's video. It is an Alexia Edmore dress. This sold for $19. So I did drop my prices today by 10% on everything I've had in my closet for 30 days or more. Because my sales have been kind of slow the past couple of days, it is resulting in moving some older items. So that's good. Next up, I sold, this is, by the way, November 1st through the 7th. I sold this vintage Berman's coat for $36. This was just a vintage like suede leather Sherpa lined coat. It seemed like really good quality, so I decided to pick it up. And it sold fairly quickly for $36. So I like to go by brand sometimes, but there's other times where I can pick up something based on style or quality, and it can still do good. Next up was this Patagonia jacket. This sold for $50. This was actually a vest. This was a men's size large Retro X deep pile Sherpa vest. It kind of was an older one, I think, made in the USA, but it still sold really quickly. It actually sold on a different platform before I could delete it. So luckily I was able just to cancel that one. I don't know what's going on with this because a pair of pajamas and they just got returned back to me. So I need to check with my buyer and see. Otherwise, I guess I'll just relist them. But that's it on Depop. Let's move on to Mercari. Not much to see here because Mercari kind of sucks. First up is this Sinful sweatshirt that sold for $19. This did have free shipping. It was a size medium, orange, oversized, Y2K, animal print. Would not pick that up again. I used to pick up more Sinful stuff, but it just hasn't been doing that good. Next up was a Peruvian Connection dress in a size extra small. This is a black sweater dress. It did have baby alpaca and silk was the material, so really good material on that. I did put a stock picture here at the bottom. So $39.37 on that. And then I sold another Carhartt coat. This was a boys size extra small. This sold for $44 with free shipping. It cost about $8 or $9 to ship, which is good. I did have some people message me about buying this off of platform. I was trying to offer them $30 at the lowest. I guess they didn't want to do that because they never responded back. So I ended up actually making more money selling it myself online. And most of the sold comps on eBay were like $25 for this. I got about $10 more. Sometimes I think if you are an experienced good reseller, like you know what you're doing with your keywords and your pricing and your title and your pictures, you can get more than the average sold price. Because on eBay, especially that's what I'm talking about when I look on eBay, these people might not be very good eBay listers, and they're taking the average sold price of like every listing. So that doesn't mean it's every good listing. So sometimes if I know, like I know the value, I know I can get more, I'll just try it. I'll try to list it a little higher. And sometimes it works out like this. So that's great. And that was my only thing on Mercari, or my last thing on Mercari. Only 3 sales this week. So let's move on to eBay next. We have a North Face coat. This was a women's size extra large. It sold for $55. It was navy blue with a pineapple print. I think I paid $10 to $15 for this at a local thrift world and figured it would sell during this time, and it did. So yay. These Dansko boots sold really quickly for $75 with a coupon. They were in a size 38. These are called the Frankie boot, and I've been reselling for almost 8 years now, and I've never seen this style. They are a bolo. Average sold comps are around $75 for this style, and look how worn mine are. They even have like kind of some decent wear in the suede, but they did really good, and they sold like in a day for that much money. So be on the lookout for that style of Dansko boots. Next up is the brand Carolina boots. These are a pair of men's size 15, so really big size, brown leather 8-inch waterproof logger boots. So definitely an outdoor like workwear brand. These sold really fast for $50. I sold these Title IX pants for $32. These were in a size 12. I just showed these in a recent haul. My last haul video didn't do very good, but maybe that's just because in my recent videos I've been saying political or like stuff about my faith. So if you guys support me in that and you want to help me in a free way, always liking and commenting on videos helps with the algorithm. And then if you share it on your social media, you can do that too. If you don't, like, it's okay. I'm just saying for a little while I was like really, really focused on trying to get more views on YouTube, and maybe I'll get back into that. But lately I've been more like not focused, but like I don't care. I am going to say what I want on my channel, and I don't care if that makes me get less views because it's my channel. So kind of that's where I've been, which I think that's why I'm getting less views. But anyway, free way to support me if you want to. Title IX pants, size 12, green. These are called the Big B pants, straight leg, Gorp Core. I had a Instagram follower / viewer that told me about my picture issue when they're so dark. And she says you can change the contrast in your phone, and that helps big time. And so Keegan told me too, he's like, when you're taking it, you push the little button and let it adjust. But I tried that, Keegan, and it didn't really help. So I don't know if I'm not standing far enough into the light box, but then I can't get the full picture. But the contrast thing seems to work, so I'm going to go with that. Next up, we have an Ally Miles cardigan. This sold for $32. This was in a size extra large, so I like to try to look for a lot of stuff for Ally Miles in an extra large or bigger, unless it's like a really cool print or a really cool style and maybe a large. But my smalls and mediums are not moving very quickly. Here's another Ally Miles. This is petite extra large, red textured woven scoop neck, 3/4 sleeve top. So lots of good keywords. Sorry, I have the hiccups. Next up is the brand Skinify. These are a pair of compression resistance band leggings. They sold for $38. Be on the lookout for these at the thrift store, and people want to know how many bands there are. So you probably should put that in your description. I don't know what that has to do with anything. I have not done enough research on the brand to know. Next up is a pair of Godo pants. Maybe I've sold these before. They got returned. This time they sold for my full asking price of $45. So I will take that. These are like a pair of breeches. So they are for horseback riding. So that's exciting that they sold again. Next up, I sold some Democracy jeans in a size 16. These were a pair of gray, blue color, Ab Technology high-rise skinny, sold for $17. I have stopped picking these up because with my average sales, or with my average cost of goods and my promoted price that I'm doing on eBay, I would have to sell them for $35 to make the profit that I want. And every once in a while I can, but for the most part, I'm not. So I just stopped. I just stopped picking them up. And I mean, I'm still finding great stuff. Next was the brand, the Reset R Label. This sweater, I've never heard of this brand before. It sold for $45, but it was really pretty. The label just looked unique, so I decided to look at it. Plus, it had a wool cashmere blend, and it did sell really quickly. So perfect little fall sweater. Next up was this Tory Burch purse that sold for $45. I got this when I went on a road trip with my sister to some random little small town thrift stores on the way out to a volleyball tournament. It was fun, but it wasn't really good for me for my business because there's not that much good clothing at those kind of stores, and they're just small. But that's okay. It did have some wear in the corners. I did put all of that in my pictures. It still sold for $45. So yay for that. Next up is a pair of Stetson boots that sold for $125. I got these at Plato's Closet, and these were a size 12. I did talk to Ryan about them because he's a size 12. He likes the Western wear. But these were a little too extra for him with all the tooling. They had a cross on them, so really cool pair of boots. And that was a really great sale. Next up, I sold 2 of those wool and dresses. So thank you to everybody who commented and helped me out with that. When you guys put stuff like that in the comments, I don't take offense to it if it can help my business. So you were telling me price it higher, price it higher. So before I was looking up by wool with the punctuation mark, whatever that is, and that was not pulling stuff up. So someone was like, spell it out. So I just put both of those in my title. One sold for $73, one sold for $85. It was a same person that bought both of them together in a bundle. So I combined shipping for her. And let me show you what the tag looks like. It's right here. So they're merino wool, and they were in a size 3X. So I think that definitely made a difference. Bolo brand for sure. Again, my first time ever finding that. So you can always be learning new things and finding new things at the thrift store. Next up is a Ming Wang cardigan in a size medium. This only sold for $17. It was a black textured jacket. This brand, I'm trying to really stay away from the smaller sizes. I sold a North Face coat for $115. This is crazy. This was $25 at my local thrift store. They actually had 2 of them, a purple one and a blue one. I'm saving the purple one for Grace for Christmas because they're very new. First of all, I think they only came out last year, and they're a very cute style. They're a down puffer. So I just feel like this is so cute. So I'm giving one to Grace, and then I sold one. But yeah, super cute, really quick sale, $115. I'll take that. This day was amazing for me on eBay. Here's a $150 sale on this vintage Sopranos coat. This was an HBO leather bomber coat. This was on the put-back rack by the dressing room. This is a men's item. If you guys watch my channel, you know I give a lot of men's to my brother. But every once in a while, I just decide to keep something. So sorry, Bubba. We call him Bubba. His name's Mark. When he was little, he was like really chunky, and we just have always stuck with that nickname. But I don't even think he watches my videos, so sorry. I give him some good stuff. This week I found him a new with tags Nike Japan baseball jersey, and some of the used ones are selling for like $200. So that's going to be cool. I'm going to have to tell him to keep me updated on that. That was off of a new rack. Next up, I sold a rag and bone sweater dress that sold for $16.25. This was a black and white striped merino wool sweater dress. Rag and bone, I have a really hard time selling. The things that I know do the best for me are those pajama jeans. They look like they feel like pajamas, but they look like jeans. Those sell really good. The Miramar joggers. I would not pick up that dress again. Another low Ming Wang sale. Size medium, again, only $8 in this, so it has gone through multiple markdowns. I think that was on a 75% off sale, and then they sent me something even lower, and I was like, I don't care because it's old and I don't want it in my store anymore. Next up was a soft surrounding shirt that sold for $7. This was in a size large, Christmassy vibes with the red plaid. $7 on that. Not picking up that brand anymore. I sold this J. McLaughlin coat for $85. This is crazy. This was at a thrift world where they majorly mark up so much stuff, but they didn't know about this. And actually, typically this brand is not that great, but this specific style was good. So it's good to make sure that you know certain styles within the brands or certain items that can go for more money. So this was a down puffer coat. So I thought this is not the normal thing that I see from this brand, like the dresses or the tops. So I'm going to look it up, and comps were really good. So $85 in this, which is kind of nuts, but that was really cool. Next up was a Vineyard Vines sweatshirt in a men's extra small. This was new with tags and it sold for $20. So extra small for men's does not sell very well. There are not very many extra small men. Next up was called the Frankie Shop. This sold for $35. I got this recently at a consignment store. Never heard of the brand. It did get lots of attention right away. Sold for $35. Comps were right around 30 to 40. So that was a nice quick sale. Next up was a pair of Harley Davidson boots. These were in a size 9.5. These were the Mila boots. I got these at my local Goodwill. They did have a little bit of wear, but that's okay. They still sold great for $54. Next up, I sold this John Mark shirt for $20. This was in a size large, buffalo plaid, longer tunic length. John Mark, I'm trying to get an extra large or bigger. Next was a St. John blazer that sold for $36. This was in a size small. So St. John retails for a crazy, crazy high amount, but you can't get anywhere near that. Like they can retail for over $1,000 for jackets and blazers, but the resale is like extremely low. So still happy, I mean, because this is the profit margin that I want, but it's just crazy how much the difference is. Next up was the brand Grizzas. This was the size medium gray silk top. Very lag-and look type of top. It was silk and linen. I decided to try it, but I did have it for quite a while and it sold for $25. So that's okay. These Kizik shoes sold really quickly. These were in a size 9 and they sold for $34. Kizik, I think they have this like type of setup where this part of the shoe folds down and so you can slip your feet in without having to like use your hands, I think. So a little bit of wear. I threw them in the wash, but still did pretty good. Nice quick sale. Next up was an Anthropologie jacket in a size 1X. This sold for $26. This was a blue faux suede, like moto style jacket. So pretty cool Anthropologie plus size, but didn't get as much as I wanted. That's okay. Next up, I sold this Etro skirt for $83, which is crazy. This was on the put back rack by the dressing room. I have to admit, I don't look through skirts very much. Do you guys look through the skirt section? I tend to skim it, but sometimes I feel like I should be looking more carefully because you could find crazy stuff like this. So Etro could be a definite Labolo brand, 100% silk, made in Italy, $83. Next up was this Talbot sweater that sold for $42 with a coupon. This was in a size 1X, and it was 100% cashmere sweater. So that definitely made it more valuable. Pure cashmere, good color for fall, plus size. Next up was a Lululemon shirt in a size 10. This sold for $35. This was a Swiftly Tech. The Swiftly Tech sells so good. If you saw my recent Instagram post, you would have seen that I found a ton of short sleeve Swiftly Techs at the thrift store the other day. I went into the new rack. I saw one, I saw two, and then I started looking down the way and I was like, there is a ton. Luckily, there was no other resellers there, or at least around me in the new rack. So I was able to just pull them all off. Didn't have to rush. So that was amazing. Now, those aren't going to sell for probably $35, but I think I can sell them quickly. And they're always like a popular style. So I went ahead and grabbed them. So every once in a while, I guess, I don't know. I'm going to have to figure out what I want to do in the spring, summer though, because the type of stuff that sells then is typically can't sell for as much. I mean, dresses, I can still find some stuff, I guess. I don't know. We'll see when the time comes. Next up was a Land's End vest that sold for $14. This was a size small, and it was a black down puffer vest. That just doesn't do that good for me. Next up was a Keen's shirt, sold for $34. This was new with tags, black, 100% silk. This had tons of attention on all of my platforms. Plenty of lowball offers around 20. I kept counter offering 35 and I got 34. So I'm like, okay, I'm happy with that. Next up was an Ivy & Fisher dress in a size large. This was a burgundy cowl neck, midi length dress, long sleeve, so good for the fall. I sold these Acris pants for $37.50. These were in a size 14 and they were new with tags. Another brand that is extremely, extremely expensive, doesn't sell anywhere near retail value. In fact, I leave it behind sometimes with certain pieces. And then I sold these Mother jeans for $80. Yay. These were the straight leg hiker hover penny for thoughts denim. Penny for thoughts is the wash. I know it's weird, but they have a certain wash. It says it right here in the inside of the inside pocket, the exact style. So it makes it Super easy to look up. $80 on those. That was amazing. Another pair of mother pants. These ones were $42. They were interesting because they were like a vegan leather and they were a size 25. So not the classic jeans. They were new with tags, but I have had these for a while. So I went ahead and accepted that offer. I sold this Marc by Marc Jacobs sweater for $40. This was in a size medium. It had a gold sparkle detail. So yeah, that sold pretty quickly, button back. Next was another Lululemon Swiftly Tech. This one sold for $32. This was a size 12. Long sleeve, fitted, athletic top. Actually, yeah, it was fitted, I guess. Merrell shoes, size 7. This was the Q Form 2 suede shearling slip-on shoes. So $25 on those. Maybe I could have got a little more if I would have waited. Oh, look at my like tired eyes. It's okay. I'm getting old. Maybe if I would have waited and relisted them, but whatever. Okay. We're still going on November 1st. A Madi top. I had a ton of sales this day. This was an Anthropologie brand. It wasn't a size extra large. It was like this blue crushed or like silver crushed velvet. But it only sold for $15. So got to be careful with the Anthropologie. And then I sold these Lululemon On The Fly joggers for $35, but they're getting returned for fit. I did ask the buyer, sometimes when things get returned for fit, I just go ahead and ask the buyer, like, did you happen to look at measurements? I put these in there to ensure fit, and this person was like, yeah, they just didn't fit right. And I was like, okay, like kind of annoying, but I get it. So let's move on to Poshmark. That was some great sales on eBay. So really excited about that. Poshmark, this are a couple. My top 3 sales are sales from my markdown that I've done this morning. Actually, we're not going to talk about that because this is supposed to be November 1st through the 7th. So we're going to go off of the sales from today, and we will start with sales from yesterday. First, I sold this bundle of items for $138, but we have a problem. I don't have that bottom Lululemon hoodie. I sold it on Poshmark. I forgot to delete it off of eBay. I'm actually starting with a new cross-listing program that I'm really excited about that has a delist feature, which I've never been able to have before with the program that I used. So I'm going to be making a video about that coming up soon. It is saving me so much time. So I'm excited to share that with you. So besides the Lululemon hoodie that I don't have, I'm hoping she'll pick something else in my closet. I sold a Polo Ralph Lauren women's pullover sweatshirt, a pair of Paige Drew cargo jeans, and a pair of Free People movement pants. So good bundle as long as the buyer chooses to replace that Lululemon hoodie with something else. Next up is the brand Parsley and Sage. This was an extra large top and it sold for $24. I heard about this brand from Kaylee Elaine. And it did, I mean, $24 is okay, but it's not where I want to be for my sales, like to meet my goals. So I don't know if I would pick that up again. Next up was a Lululemon sweatshirt in a size 6. This one sold for $30. This was called the Wrap Up Wrap. It did have the like metal logo down in the back there. It is an older style because there's no letters and numbers around the size dot. So kind of didn't expect it to sell for much more than that. Next up was a Nilly Lotan shirt. This is definitely a Bolo brand. This sold for $65, which was my full asking price. Here's what the tag looks like. So if you see a tag where the lettering is the same color as the back of the tag, that could be a sign of quality or a more like designer type piece. Jenny King has that as well. So $65 in this, 100% cotton, blue striped top. That was really exciting. Next up is a Peruvian Connection jacket. That reminds me, somebody asked me about a different Peruvian Connection jacket that I forgot to put measurements in. I have a hair appointment in an hour. Okay, can't forget that. This was a size 4, black, brown, reversible alpaca Rollins coat, sold for $75. My thrift stores, I've still seen a little bit of Peruvian Connection in a couple of them. If you guys watched me before, you know that all of a sudden there was a ton around the Omaha area, but then they started marking it up. Next up was a Levi's jacket in a men's size small. This sold for $28. I sold this a while ago. I couldn't find it. I found it. I messaged the buyer back. She wanted to buy it again. So praise for like understanding buyers for my like extreme bad organization, but hope I get better. Anyway, that was a good sale. Free People sweater, $47. I don't pick up very much Free People, but I did decide to look this up because it was very oversized, chunky. It was called the Sweater Weather sweater. It was very oversized. in a size large. Sorry about Ellie. She heard a van go by, and apparently that triggered her. So big V-neck sweater, $47 on that. That is amazing for free people. Next up, we have a Peruvian Connection dress that sold for $50. Had this on my table where I do all my stuff for a couple of weeks because it needed to be lint rolled. I finally lint rolled it one day and it sold within hours for $50 full price. So get your, like, maybe not your death pile, but like your repair pile or things that need to be done. Just do it and get them listed because this proved to sell extremely quickly. So $50 on that. Really happy with that sale. Next up, I sold another pair of mother jeans for $80. These ones were in a size 31. They were the Rambler Zip Flood. So a nice straight leg style, better than the skinny. I love selling mother jeans. They sell so good when it's a good style. So that was amazing. I sold some Rock Revival jeans for $25. These were in a women's size 25 Ina skinny jeans. I'm not picking up very much Rock Revival. In order for me to pick it up now, I would want it to probably be a boot cut, and I would want it to have lots of bling on the back pocket. These ones didn't, and they were a skinny. So that's why they sold for a little bit less. Next up was a pair of Dansko sandals that sold for $34. So even though we're getting into colder weather, some people don't live in cold weather states, and some people want stuff for vacations. So these were called the Vera sandals. This is a really good style. They were in a size 40, tan, comfort, minimalist, wedge. Those are all keywords that you can use for these, and they sold really quickly for $34. Next up, here's a good pair of Rock Revival jeans. So as you can see, these ones were a boot cut pair, so that makes them more valuable. And they did have some good rhinestone bling on that back pocket. So those sold for $45, which is more like what I'm looking for the Rock Revival jeans. Next up is a pair of Allegria shoes that sold for $24. These ones were the Navy Paloma Jazzy blue patent leather clogs. Sometimes Allegria can sell for me for at least $35 or more. Sometimes it goes through a couple of markdowns, and I think that's what happened to those ones. Next up, I sold a Ming Wang size small jacket that was sheer. This sold for $18. So another lower priced Ming Wang sale in a smaller size, which is just proving my point that I need to stop picking it up in the smaller sizes and just be more diligent at the thrift store. Next up was a pair of Lululemon pants that sold for $27. These were a pair of high-rise black scuba pants. I've had these for a long time, and I don't know why, but they just weren't selling. So finally they got marked down and they sold for $27. So I was happy to see those go. Next up, I have a pair of Naote sandals that sold for $32. These were in a size 10. Leather, summer, comfort, again, another comfort brand. I like selling Naote in certain styles. There's some things that are like the flats or like the loafers that don't do as good. This Bryn Walker top sold extremely quickly. This was in a size extra large, and it was a black oversized asymmetrical top. So very lag-in look. This one was just polyester, I think. Let me see. Yeah, so not even that great of a material, but it still sold really fast. I like to pick up that brand in linen a lot. Next up is a pair of Viore pants that sold for $45. These were a size small. Gray camo performance joggers. This is right about what the sold comps are for these camo ones, right around 50, 45. So glad to get that. I love selling Viore. Let's see what's next. We are almost done. I sold this Lululemon shirt for $32. This is kind of funny because this got returned, but before this, it had went through a couple of markdowns and I sold it for lower. It got returned. I just went ahead and relisted it at my original listing price, and then I sold it for $32. So I sold it for more the second time. So that's why, like, sometimes as long as it's a pretty good item, I don't care. But that's actually kind of surprising to me because most of my Lululemon shirts are not selling for that much, just like unless it's a Swiftly Tech or something. Next up is a pair of Democracy jeans in a size 20. These are a pair of Blue Ab Technology jeans. $23 on these. Dark wash, skinny, nothing special. Leaving those behind at this point. Next, I sold a pair of Wolverine boots for $25. That is an eBay offer. Let's see what it is. Okay, it's $68. Oh, I just got this returned. So it's this Banana Republic coat. It's plaid I have it listed for $75 and they're offering me $68. So I'm definitely going to accept that. I just got done putting that back away in my inventory. I went through all of my returns this morning after I worked out because my return area downstairs was kind of crazy. Anyway, Wolverine boots, 9.5, vegan leather, Margot tall riding boots, $25. That's okay. Would have liked to get more, but glad to get a good offer to move those out. Next, we have a pair of Judy Blue jeans that sold for $39, which is really good for Judy Blue because I'm not hardly picking it up anymore. But they were a flare and they were a size 20W, which is 20 women's, I think. So I guess I can be selective in some things. Maybe I could still pick up and get that profit that I'm looking for. But for the most part, no. Wait, I already talked about this stuff last week, didn't I? Because here's the Carhartt shirt. Oh, that was on Halloween. Okay. So that's it. Let me get into my numbers. So on Depop this week, this is all profit. I've taken out all of the fees and I've taken out my cost of goods. I made $119.29 on Depop. Mercari, I made $35.52. On eBay, I made $1,318.94. And on Poshmark, I made $577.71. So eBay is making more money than me week after week. If you do not cross-list, you need to be. Again, be on the lookout soon for my cross-listing video that I'm going to put out. The total, I made $2,050.85 profit. That's amazing. I have been spending a little bit more this week. I have my volleyball boys banquet tonight, so we're going to celebrate them and the amazing season that we had. We won every tournament except for 2 of them, and one of them there was 24 teams, and we got fourth place. We got 4th place in that, which is crazy because we're such a young team. We have like a few 15-year-olds, and we're playing against like these 18-year-old guys that are committed to college. So I'm so proud of them. So anyway, all of that being said, I buy my senior boys gifts every year. So I got them gift cards and foods and snacks, and then what else did I spend money on? Oh, I pay to print them off some awards for the end of the season for all of our stats. So I also picked up a few things this week just for myself personally. So out of the normal purchases, I'm really getting into trying to make stuff myself, whether it's food, medicines, house products, and it's so exciting. So I made a cough syrup this week, and then I'm going to make air freshener. And then what else did I make? Something else. Oh, I made Grace some protein muffins. So I'm just like, it feels great because our country is toxic and poisonous. And if we can take matters into our own hands and make our own stuff, I'm like, it's way healthier. So I feel like that's also just becoming more and more talked about, which is really good. Like, we wonder why we're so sick and why people get cancer so much. It's because everything around us is poison and toxic. When you really do the research, it's crazy. Okay, I'm done with my rant. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting my channel. I really appreciate all of you guys. Thank you when you guys come up to me in the thrift store and say hi. That's always fun to meet viewers. I'm usually very laser focused in the thrift store. I'm not looking around very much. And I might look mad, but I'm not. I'm just focused. So feel free to come up and talk to me. I'll see you guys on the next video. Have a great weekend.